but it's to send them out to whoever would like. Maybe just put it on the chat so that people can look at it on their screen if they want. I wanted to talk about a topic that has to do with this week's parsha here in Eretz Yisrael, but it also it's a life topic, and it's really a topic that has to do with our lives, right now. Living through, we hope on the getting better in the second half, in the end of the tzara, the end of not even a national. This is what we call personal and communal and national and universal, right? Different tzaras. This was a universal tzara, which is something that is very unusual when there's a tzara for the entire world. I think I've said that I don't think in, I don't know how many hundreds of years, even 100 years ago when there was a pandemic, it didn't affect the whole world at once. I don't know if there was ever a universal tzara. I don't know, since the Mabul, and according to the day that it wasn't, didn't affect Eretz Yisrael, and it wasn't even universal then. So it's really something quite unusual that we're involved in. There is a mitzvah aseh daraisa that we are supposed to be involved in when there is a tzara. Mitzvah aseh, maybe we didn't think about it until right now, but maybe right now we can still think about it. We're still wearing masks. We're still in capsules. We're still not davening in shuls. We're still we're all affected by it in some way. So we still, in our recognition of what's going on, we can fulfill this mitzvah. The pasuk tells us in Baloscha, when war comes into your land, you have to blow trumpets. You have to blow trumpets. You'll be remembered in front of Hashem and you'll be safe. Next pasuk. On your holidays. To blow trumpets. Those same trumpets. This is a pasuk that says that when we are going through a difficult time at war, when we are going through a holiday, Karbanos, we have to blow trumpets. What's that? And that's counted as a mitzvah. Do we fulfill this mitzvah nowadays? I don't think any of us has ever, I don't know, maybe some of you know how to blow a trumpet, but I've never blown one. I've never been part of a gathering that blew trumpets. Is this one of those Beis Hamikdash mitzvos? Is this one of those that we don't do this anymore? Let's see. Because as we will see, it is something that we do Bizman Hazeh and that we have to do Bizman Hazeh, even if not in battle and even if not in the Beis Hamikdash. Number one. Number two, the second point to make, which we'll get back to Hashem at the end, and that is the famous discussion in Shabbos Lamed Aleph of the 6 questions. Not really questions, really statements. We've been medayik before. Amar Rava, when we're brought to judgment, Omrim lo. It doesn't say Shoalim, we're asked. Omrim, it's said to us, Natata v'natata be'emuna, Avati t'ma Torah, were you honest in business? Did you set aside time for learning? Asakta be'peri v'rivya, did you spend time, Puravu? Did you spend time? And again, Puravu doesn't end at birth. Puravu starts at birth. And it continues, all the child rearing and all everything we do to bring up our kids, right? That's all period berivia. So all of those so far we know are mitzvos, right? Being honest, you're not allowed to lie, set aside time for Torah, time for period berivia. We'll skip one. So palta b'chachma, ivanta davar mitoch davar. Were you osek in lumdis? Did you use your mind to the best of your abilities? Right? Our mind is what makes us unique. Brios, okay. Pisali Yeshua, number 4. Did you hope for the salvation? Did you daven to get out of Olam Hazeh? Pisali Yeshua. What's the source of that question, statement, obligation? And how do we understand that demand of Pisali Yeshua? Is it only, I might add, Is it only for the Yeshua of Geula, ultimate? Maybe it's also part of personal. Did you hope for salvations when there were tsaras going on? Tipisul Yeshua. Maybe that's part of what we're going to talk about, as we'll see tonight. So let's go. Sichas Rambam. First, we're going to focus on the Rambam. I'm just looking for a pencil. Sorry. Okay. Sichas Rambam. The Rambam in mitzvahs asay nun tes count a mitzvahs asay daraisa. This is fascinating, as we're going to see 3 different formulations of the Rambam. The Rambam first in mitzvahs asay nun tes tells us that sivanu l'tkol b'chatzotros b'mikdash imak ravas kol karban karbanei hamoadim. There's a mitzvah daraisa, maybe upon the Levium, to blow trumpets while you bring karbanos in the Beis Hamikdash. It's on our pasuk. And then in the same mitzvah, the Rambam says, "V'chein anachnu mitzuvim." We are also commanded to blow trumpets at times of need, hatzaros, and difficulties. When we dive into Hashem. If you look at that formulation, the Rambam says, there's a mitzvah to blow trumpets when you're in difficult times and davening to Hashem. It does not sound like from that Rambam that davening is really part of the mitzvah. The Rambam says, blow trumpets when you're going through difficulties and are davening. Davening is more background to the mitzvah. That's one Rambam in Sefer HaMitzvahs. If we look in the Rambam at the beginning of Hilchos Tainis, there's a little switch. There's a little transition. The Rambam there says, mitzvahs asay min haTorah. There's a mitzvah d'oraisa, lizok ulaharia, וחצוצרות al kol Torah shetavo latzibur. There's a mitzvah asay d'oraisa to cry out and to wail and to blow chatotros when there's a tzara. Besides the mitzvah of davening every single day of our lives, the Rambam says there's a separate mitzvah asay d'oraisa to turn to God and to blow trumpets to Hashem when you're going through difficulty. That's the reaction. Shene'emar, based on the pasuk in Baloscha. Doesn't only mean war. Anything that's difficult for you, famine, plague, arbel locusts, za'aku elam b'haria. Turn to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So in the first formulation of the Rambam, the mitzvah to blow trumpets when you're davening, that would mean that there's no mitzvah b'zman hazeh. According to this formulation, it's a mitzvah that we've been doing for 3 months. And whenever we say Tehillim, communally or personally, it's part of this mitzvah zaseh. It's hard, but there are so many things in life that if we just think about it a little more, we can sanctify. I'm on this Tehillim group that I'm saying Tehillim, Tehillim split up into like 100 different people. So we say Tehillim for somebody who's sick. Before I go to sleep at night, I say this 2 prakim of Tehillim. So that's the mitzvahs that say daraisa. When there's a tzara, there's a separate mitzvah to turn to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So here, though, we've gone from it's a mitzvah to blow shofar when you daven. Here, this Rambam is a mitzvah to daven and blow shofar. If you look at the koteret, the title of Hilchos Tainis, it says davening exclusively. Mitzvahs asay achas v'hi lizok lifnei Hashem b'chol eis tzara gedola shelo tavo latzibur. Just davening. Maybe shofar then, maybe the chatzotzros, according to the Rambam, is a form of crying. We spoke about this before Rosh Hashanah, right? Shofar is a form of prayer. The Rambam, in capturing the mitzvah, right before Hilchos Tainis, the Rambam says, it's a mitzvah to cry out to Hashem when you're going through difficulty. And this, of course, reminds us of the Ramban. Famous machlokas between the Rambam and the Ramban. My wife asked me before what I'm giving shir on Shabbos afternoon. So I said, Tefillah Chatzosos Beis Sarah. Says, don't, the Rambam and the Ramban, you've done that 100 times. I said, the only source that I'm using in this year is the Ramban. All the rest is new. All the rest is new. I've spoken about that a lot. So, he's my biggest critic. So I have to make sure that I keep things new to be able to, people don't get tired of what the Torah that I say. Okay. Anyway, but the Rambam says, as we know, there's a mitzvah say to daven every single day of our lives. The Ramban, based on the first daf of Tainus, Ramban though says no, it's not a mitzvah to daven every day. Not a chiyuv mitzvah to daven every day. It's not one of the 613. Let's call it. But the Ramban says, those of you who have the sources, in source number 6, the Ramban says it's an opportunity. An opportunity to daven. But, says the Ramban, I'll agree with you in one situation. A Sarah. When there's a difficulty, when there's an Asar. Stam, you're going through David life and everything's okay, basically. Then the Ramban says there's no mitzvah d'oraisa to David. But when you're going through a difficult time, so that's when you need to turn to Hashem. That's when there's the mitzvah. It is palel elav be'esatzaros tiena eineinu v'libeinu elav levado einei avadim. Shat Sarah. Why? Why does the Ramban say that every single day there's no chiyuv? That's Shat Sarah, you have to. Because when there's a difficulty going on and then we don't turn to Hashem, that reflects that we don't think He's in charge. We don't think that He's the one who could change anything. And that's a lack of emunah. And that's why the stakes are higher at a time of Sarah. Rav Hirsch once wrote, Rav Hirsch once had an amazing line. The less we want to daven, the more we need to daven. The less we're in the mood. The less we want to daven, the more we need to daven. I thought of that line when I first heard that the Waterbury song, God Be My King, right? You have the first paragraph of you feel so distant, and then he feels better. I'm probably the only kid I read that would ever quote a Waterbury, a song, but okay, that's I guess I'm unique in other ways too. I should say different in other ways too. Anyway, but that's the less we want to. We need to be connected. That's exactly what the Rambam says. The Rambam in that beginning of Sichas Chaim, the Rambam says when there's a tzara that happens, we have to turn to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And if we don't, and if we say things happen and the world doesn't have a balabas, everything it's brazen. What do you mean brazen? Because it's reflecting that we don't think Hashem's in charge. And that's something that HaKadosh Baruch Hu can't live with. We can't explain why tzaras happen. But we do know what Hashem wants from us. What Hashem wants. I once heard a great rabbi speak at a levaya of his granddaughter, Rachmana litzlan. And he said, I'm not angry. My emunah is not shaken. I just have a couple more questions to ask after 120. And that's fine. Because we don't understand and have questions without rattling our emunah is fine. But we could turn to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We need to turn to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Moshe Feinstein was asked. I think we mentioned this in other shiurim. Rav Moshe was asked, is there a mitzvah for non-Jews to daven? Does a non-Jew have to daven? Interesting question. Is he allowed to daven? What if a non-Jew comes in and wants to use the siddur? Let's maybe skip Birchas HaShachar, right? There's one in there that's probably not going to be so positive in his mind. But, maybe you could start with, Pokeach Ivrim, get the first couple of brachas. But Rav Moshe was asked. So, number one, Pashut, Rav Moshe says there's no chiyuv. Not one of the Shem Mitzvahs B'nai Noach. Then Rav Moshe says this is only in a regular situation. If a non-Jew is going through a tzara, he has a chiyuv to turn to God. Because not turning to God means he doesn't think Hashem's in charge, and that's part of Avodah Zarah. That's part of the belief. Even the non-Jews have to believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I mean, Sheva mitzvot, a mitzvah doesn't make sense without a mitzvah. Remember those in my shiur, we did that Rambam. Even Bnei Noach have to do the mitzvahs because Hashem commanded Moshe Rabbeinu at Har Sinai about the mitzvot. It's not just stam, it's logical, it makes sense. Rav Moshe Feinstein says non-Jews also have to daven be'ez Sarah because it's a reflection of emunah. The reflection that this is something that I don't understand, but I know HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in charge. And that's the great nechama that we have. Imagine going through a tzara, being an atheist, thinking that the whole world is just whatever, doesn't make sense. It's so frustrating. It's so lonely. We might not understand everything, but we know we have a loving Father. Part one. Next section. Rambam here, as we said, counts one mitzvah. Mitzvah to blow וחצוצרות at a time when we bring karbanos in the Beis HaMikdash on a day of Yantif and Rosh Chodesh. And it's a mitzvah to blow וחצוצרות at a time of tzaros, at a time of milchama. Ask the Magen Mishnah, the first Magen Mishnah in Hilchos Tainis, shouldn't this be two mitzvos? These are two opposite feelings, two opposite experiences. וחצוצרות and at war and וחצוצרות in the Beis HaMikdash. Ask the Magen Mishnah. Ra'isi the Rabbeinu b'sefer mitzvah shalosh shemana trua zu b'tkiya sheb'shas karbanos b'mitzvah achas. The Tama ani lama shnei psukim. It's two different psukim. It's two different ideas. V'nireh shedai tozal shehamitzvah hi achas klalos. It seems from the Rambam that the mitzvah is one inclusive mitzvah. To blow base karbanos and to blow base saras. The ein roilam nosen shtei mitzvahs. It's not appropriate to count them as two. How do you answer the question? Shouldn't it be two mitzvahs? No, it's one inclusive mitzvah. Period. Thank you very much. What does that mean? You had a great kasha. What do you answer? The Magen Mishnah said it should be two separate mitzvahs. Trumpets on Yantif and trumpets on the battlefield have nothing to do with each other. What does he mean? It should be one mitzvah. He ends off with V'od Tzarachian. I'm not sure. What's the kavanah of the Magen Mishnah? What does it mean that it's one mitzvah? Rabbi Moshe Feinstein writes in a tshuva. I gave it to you in the sources. Maybe, again, it's hard to put into the words of the Rambam. Maybe Rambam holds that the mitzvah is making the וחצוצרות and having the וחצוצרות. And then whatever you use them for, you use them for. Kind of like carbon ola. Carbon ola is used for 10 different things. Chatas is one mitzvah of chatas. You need it for 20 different averos. So have the וחצוצרות and they're used. That's what Moshe suggests. But it's not the pshuto shel Rambam. The Rambam's lashon sounds like it's the blowing. That's what he says is the mitzvah. Hine lanias daiti, Rav Moshe says. Use the same וחצוצרות in the Beis HaMikdash at war. Okay, but still, it doesn't sound that way. That it's about making the וחצוצרות. There's a second approach. Sefer HaChinuch. Sefer HaChinuch is always down to earth. It gives us something to walk away with. The Sefer HaChinuch, we'll get to a third idea soon. The Sefer HaChinuch says, Mishar Shia Mitzvah, the Chinuch always has like the Rambam. Counting is like the Rambam. So what is it? Well, he counts one mitzvah. Trumpets on Yantif, trumpets at war. What's the connection? Mishar Shia Mitzvah. Lufi Shabashas HaKarban Aitzrichon L'chavin Daitam Yafa. When you have a carbon, you have to have very focused, intense kavanah. Moshe Yadua. Do nifsal b'machshavos yaduos. Problematic thoughts ruin the carbon. Half of Mesechus Zvachim is about problematic thoughts. I think I mentioned the two topics that get the most press in all of Shas. There are more dafim about these two topics than any other topic in all of Shas. What are they? Who's heard this from me before? I mean, this is in my subjective opinion. Anybody doing that? Feel me now? Number one is the malacha of hotzah. Hotzah. There are tens of dafim about how much ink you have to carry out, how much wood, how much leather, how much plastic, not plastic, but how much everything. There's 50 dafim about hotzah. Yair, you want to say, yeah, what's the other one? Remember the other one? Yair?
I said pigel.
What?
Pigel?
Pigel. Pigel. Yes, there are dafim and dafim about pigel. I'm a lot to talk about pigel. Nothing against pigel, but you know, it's one of those problematic thoughts. But either way, says the chinuch, Shas Karban, we have to have kavana. Gam kein b'sheis hatzara. Tzarech adam kivun gadol b'schan l'fnei baro sheyirachem alav. When you're davening at a time of tsaras, you have to have kavana. You have to have kavana. V'lachein, at both of these times, we're commanded to blow trumpets. Why? L'fi sheha'adam yoso bal chomer, tzarech is oris gadol al advarim. Says the Chinuch, we're human beings. We need to be psyched up with external stimuli. We need to be psyched up. We need the external. Naturally, we're just going to sleep. We're not going to be excited. We need noise to wake us up. Right? I remember I thought of this idea when these sports games first started being, we're talking about stopping the sports leagues, and one guy said, they said, well, maybe without fans. And one of the sports players said, if there are no fans, I'm not playing. I'm not playing. Why? I won't be into it. I won't be into it. Imagine playing in a quiet stadium without any fans. That's this chinuch. We need the וחצוצרות to psych us up, right? To get us into it. Because that's what trumpets do. That's what noise does. So maybe that's why it's counted as one mitzvah. Because both of them need focus, and both of them get focus from the וחצוצרות. Okay, one idea. But maybe there's a third idea. Again, why does the Rambam count one mitzvah? The Magen Mishnah says because it's one thing. What does that mean? Rav Moshe, it's all about the וחצוצרות, and just use them. Okay. Number two, chinuch. Number three, there's a mysterious line in the Chizkuni. Chizkuni was an early Rishon. Early. He writes in his Akdama. He quotes a lot of ideas. He never quotes anybody by name. He says, I don't want to quote anybody by name because I want you to judge the idea for the idea. Maybe if I quote the author, then you'll judge them. Okay. Anyway, there's the Chizkuni. There's the Chizkuni. Based on the pasuk. Here's the line. When you blow shofar when you're at war, when you blow trumpets, when you blow shofar at war, Hashem will remember the zchus of the karbanos. And he'll remember that you blew וחצוצרות at the karbanos too. And he'll help you in the war. In other words, there's a connection mamish between the two. Hashem, when we blow וחצוצרות at the battlefield, he'll remember that we blew וחצוצרות in the Beis HaMikdash also. What does that mean? So maybe just zchus karbanos. We know karbanos have tremendous zchus. Remember the Gemara in Megillah, Lamed Aleph, Avraham Avinu says, what's going to be? What's going to be when we're not able to serve you? Shalom, when we have the Beis HaMikdash, one of the Beis HaMikdash, say the karbanos have power. So maybe if we blow the same וחצוצרות, Hashem will remember. But maybe there's a deeper idea to the Chizkuni. And maybe this is the pshat of the Magen Mishnah. Maybe. It's one connected theme. Why? It's for us. When we are in one extreme of existence, we need to remember the other extreme of existence. Maybe the message is, when we're on top of the world, we have to remember what the bottom of the world felt like. And when we're on the bottom of the world, we have to remember what it's like to not be there. Because Hashem wants to give us a little strategy in terms of dealing with life. When we're in battle, we remember the Beis HaMikdash. What does that mean? When we're fighting the war and we're down in the trenches, remember what you're fighting for. Remember the Beis HaMikdash with the karbanos and the kohanim. Remember when we're on top of the world, that will help us in the battlefield. And when we're in the Beis HaMikdash and we're resting from our enemies and we're happy and we're comfortable, remember what it used to be like. Remember before you got to that stage. It's one mitzvah. to connect to opposite feelings. And we have this so often. At a time of simcha, right? Maschil b'gnus u'misayim b'shvach. At the Seder, we don't just focus on being on top of the world, b'nei chorin, right? We focus on being on the bottom of the world. Our simcha is appreciated more when we think about where we came from. We recognize the precarious nature of that simcha. The beautiful thought, the Shemen HaTov. Right, Dov Weinberger says, we know on Sukkot we have a special tefillah called Hoshanas. Hoshana l'mancha l'keinu. You ever think about what those words mean? Hoshana l'mancha, save us, save us. Isn't that more of like a Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur tefillah than a Sukkot tefillah? Sukkot is Zman Simchaseinu. Hoshana, save us. I mean, save us. We're finished. That's Yom Kippur. Why do we say that on Sukkot? But that's the point. When you're on top of the world, Zman Simchaseinu, recognize Hoshana. You still need to remember that at any moment, think about the past, think about the future, think about the precarious nature that we need Rachmei Shamayim. Zman Asif, Shabayis Malek Kaltuv, Hu Malei Simcha, Dafka, Uz, Azman Lahodos Lavakish. We always have to balance it, balance the feelings. When we have Simcha, we remember that. But also the opposite. When we're Bitzaris, we need to remember what it's like to have Geula. When we're having difficult times, we have to think of normalcy. And that will help us get through the Tzaris. Imagine, close your eyes, and think of what it could be. Think of what it used to be, and think of what hopefully it will be. And that will help us get through a difficult time. We know there's a concept called Zeichel HaMikdash. Zeichel HaMikdash. There are really two types of Zeichel HaMikdash. We might have mentioned this before. But Soloveitchik points out, there are two Gemaras. Sukkah Mem Aleph, Bava Basra Daf Samach. The last Amud in Cheskas Abatim. Last time Cheskas Abatim talks about you have to leave, put ashes on a chassan and leave an amalama air because of the pasuk in Meshkachech Yerushalayim. Then there's a pasuk in Sukkah Mem Aleph. Sion hi dorish ein la, mechal deboy drisha. And what does it say there? You shake the lulav for 7 days. Zeichel HaMikdash. All these other Zeichel HaMikdashes. Says the Rav, there's two types of Zeichel HaMikdash. We might say one is sad and one is happy. There's Zeicher L'Churban HaMikdash. That's the Bava Basra. And there's Zeicher L'Binyan HaMikdash. Remember what it was like. Remember what it's going to be like. Remember what we davened for. The way to get through Golus is to remember the Binyan HaMikdash. Remember what it's like to be on top of the world and yearn for it. Maybe that's the message of the Rambam. It's one mitzvah. Because at both extreme events, we have to try to imagine the other one. We might not feel it at that moment, but at least put it in our minds and do the best we can. And especially moving on to part 3, the third and final part of this year. First part was about Beis Sarah and the different parts of the mitzvah. For Moshe, part 2 was one mitzvah. Why is it one mitzvah? 3 ideas. For Moshe and the Sefer Chinuch and this third idea, based on the Chizkuni. That's what the Chizkuni means. When you're on the battlefield, Hashem will remember the Chus of the Karbanos, not just for Hashem, just for us. Third section, though. The ultimate Sarah, we haven't only been in for 3 months. The ultimate Sarah, we've been in for 2,000 years. We don't always focus on that. That's the ultimate Sarah. And the ultimate Tefillah-based Sarah has to be thinking about the Mikdash and yearning for the ultimate Geula. The Mesilas Yesharim writes in Perek Yutes, even if you don't do the whole Sefer up till there, Perek Yutes is an awesome Perek. He talks about there, we have to daven so hard for Beis HaMikdash and for Geula. And even if we don't see the Beis HaMikdash, imagine how happy Hashem is. You're saying, please, we miss you. Reveal yourself. But the Bali Musar give a mashal. Bali Musar give a mashal. You know, let's say kids are playing hide and seek. And then, like, they can't find the kid who hides really well. So they decide, you know what, let's forget it. So they just, like, stop playing and they go inside for lunch. And the kid is still hiding. And he's there for, like, 3 hours. Like, why did they stop looking for me? What's going on? He's all alone. And he starts crying. Stop looking for me. What's going on? That's how Kadosh Baruch Hu feels. Playing hide and seek. He's hiding from us. He's wearing a mask. Hashem is wearing a mask. You can only see a little bit of him. You can't see his reactions. So when he sees and he hears that we're davening, that makes him happy. We're seeking him again. What's the source in the Torah for that concept? Tzipisa Yeshua. One of the 6 questions. The Rambam says in Hilchos Malachim, Perek Yud Aleph, very sharp language. Talks about Mashiach, and then he says, whoever does not believe in it. Oh, mi she'eno mechakel libiyaso, or he who does not hope and wait for its coming. You can believe in it, not hope for it. Either of them. Says the Rambam, you're a kofar. Lo b'shar neviim bovadu kofar. Not only in the prophets, not only in Yeshayahu, Yirmiyahu, Yechezkel, Ella, but Torah Moshe Rabbeinu. The Torah itself says, Hashem is going to have kibbutz golius. So if you're not hoping for that, it's a problem. 1 second. The Torah doesn't say anything about hope. It doesn't start to say it's going to happen. You have to believe it's going to happen. Where does the Rambam get the additional point of you have to believe in it, and you have to hope for it? Where does that additional point come from? Smak in Mitzvah Aleph writes that the source for Tzipisa Yeshua, right? Where is that mitzvah? The hope of the salvation is the mitzvah of Emunah. Just like we have a mitzvah to believe that HaKadosh Baruch Hu took us out of Mitzrayim, so too we have a mitzvah that he's going to take us out of his galus. That's a fascinating suggestion. The mitzvah of Emunah includes future Geula. But again, we ask, that just means we believe it's going to happen. Where we find that we have to hope for it, and we have to yearn for it. Says the Slonim Rebbe in the Siva Shalom, is a little kuntris. Here, I'll show it. 1 second. It's a little kuntris called Haharuga Alecha. Killed on for you. It's the drushes that the Netziv Shalom gave all about the Shoah. Al Hashmada v'Achurban b'Shnos HaShoah. They're all unbelievable, heart-wrenching. If you can get a hand on it, it's amazing. I read it every Tisha B'Av and during the 3 weeks. It's called Kuntris Ha'aruga Alecha. You have in the sheet, I gave you one mimer of his, where he talks about this issue. Now, where does it say you have to hope? Says the Netziv Shalom. If a person doesn't hope for Mashiach, for a better world, so what are you saying? You're looking at this world and you're saying, this is it. Olam hazeh. This is the goal of life. If you think that, that's a lack of emunah. If you think that this is the be-all and the end-all and the whole reason for existence and creation, you're missing the point. This world, this is olam hafachu. A believer, a maimin, has to recognize that this world is a prusdar. And if you're happy with this world, then you're missing the point. You have to yearn for more. To get rid of the tsaris. You have to see Hashem more. You're happy with how much you see of Hashem? Hashem's wearing a mask. You're happy with that? That's terrible. We have to yearn. It flows from emunah, like the Smak says, but say it's sharper. It says in the Siva Shalom, if we think this is it, we're missing the point. There's so much more. There's so much more. Hoping for Mashiach is a reflection of our emunah. Remember the guys in my shir. The Kalbo says, The mitzvah of kfura is a reflection of emun and Tchias HaMeisim. Because we recognize this is not the end. We recognize there's something more, and that's what we have to. So when we daven, it's much, generally it's easier when somebody's sick. We have kavanah b'at hachonein. We want Hashem to give us das to understand the Gemara and on a test. And Rifa'enu, Parech Aleinu. The first half of the bakashas, like usually people are better on. Then from Tchab Shofar till the end, it's kind of like autopilot. Kind of like, okay, when am I at Shemayat Tefillah yet? Okay, when I get there, I'll have kavanah again. Tchab Shofar, Esemach Tabik, Yerushalayim Ircha. Some of us are smiling too much when I said that, but you know what? We're human beings, and that's what we focus on. But again, says the Tzivit Shalom, we have to do our best to yearn, to try harder. Mishnah says at Perkei Avos, Ezeo Ashir Sameach Bechelko. There's one area we cannot be Sameach Bechelko, and that's in Ruchnius. We can never be Sameach Bechelkeinu in a certain sense. We always have to want more. For us and for the world, Hashem, we're not happy with this chelek in Olam Hazeh. We're not happy, not satisfied with tzaros. We want Hashem to take off the mask. We want Hashem to reveal himself. And that is why at a time of tzaros, like we have now, we fulfill this mitzvah. Arayot וחצוצרות. A mitzvah that we remember the great times. We think about Mashiach, and we think about the Beis HaMikdash. Hopefully that'll inspire us to be able to take it to the next step. With Hashem, we should be zochet to that next step, to the Olam Haba, to the revelation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when we don't have to be separated, we can all be connected in Yerushalayim, Be'ezus Hashem, B'nei Rav Yameinu. Have a great night, wonderful. But again,